Hello, it's Websy Wongi, a special edition. Today is Valentine's Day. Yoo-hoo! Don't be so down and hearted if you are single and you don't have someone. I don't personally think that just because it's Valentine's that we should let that bring us down. And it's really hard to look at Valentine's when you're single and you're like, there's no one here for me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm not trying to sound mean, but, I'm just stating a fact that when I was single, it was sad and all this, but, sometimes it's best just to focus on what's matter at hand and that, if you think, oh, it's just another day, maybe that will help. I don't know. But I'm here for relationship advice. I'm going to give something I came across the 27 years of my life. And since it's Valentine's, I thought that would be a perfect time to talk about relationships. Um, Relationships has ups and downs as usual. But there's this video I'm going to reference that I'll put down in the link below that just something to watch if you need something to watch for Valentine's of inspiration and not to get depressed and down and lonely. But pretty much the reference to this video, just make sure you go watch it if you can. It's about a lady. She talks about the difference between love and attachment. And I've learned this too when I left my boyfriend the first time. It's really hard when you leave a situation or leave your boyfriend or your girlfriend because so much emotion comes out, so much issues come out. And I learned when I left my boyfriend that it really opened my eyes to the fact that I'm not saying I'm without him and I have no way to function in society. I'm just saying without him, he left a pretty big hole. And it's easy once you've broken up to lose your self-worth and yourself in the midst of it. But I feel like in reference to that one video that I post on the link below is there's a difference between loving someone and having an attachment. And I learned this with some guys that I've been associated with, that you can't hold on to those you thought were the love of your life. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I mean, it's unhealthy to love someone so much that you can't give them up and you're just so attached to it. When we as human natures, we want to hold on to something so tight that we we don't let go, but it becomes a very bad cycle to get into. And I've learned even being in a relationship that you shouldn't hold so close to your loved one, to your boyfriend, to your girlfriend, where they feel smothered, where they feel like they can't breathe, they can't be themselves. And that's what I'm going to talk about, the difference between loving someone. And another thing I've learned too, this is kind of just out there, but is when you've been said no to by someone, I've learned to, just from the other person's side, is it's easy when people say no to you, I don't want to be with you, and it's easy to look at that and get really angry and resentment. But the best thing you can do, and this is mentioned in that one video, is, if I'm in your, or if I'm, how does it go? basically, if you're in a relationship and, if it includes me, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Love, truly loving someone is not based off of how you feel sometimes. Loving someone is pretty much unconditional. Loving that person despite of how a pain in the butt they can be. And I'm not saying if you're in a toxic relationship, and if you are, you need to get out. You need to remove yourself. But what I am saying, in a general state of relationship wise, if you're in one, the best thing to do is love that person even when they don't see their mistakes they're doing is wrong. And then some people you just need to cut ties with. If they're draining you, if they're being toxic to you, if they're being so-called narcissists with you and playing the mind game and manipulation, then yes, it is time to cut those people out of your life. But also I feel like give them a few chances. But if they keep doing the same thing, see, that's the thing that is a dangerous thing to figure out. You have to work with what works with you. You can't work with what works for everybody. But in my opinion, sometimes giving too much chances is just allowing them to keep doing the same stupid things. It's like me saying, I'll give Logan Paul a chance. But in the middle of it all, he's still the same Logan Paul. Nothing's going to change him. It's just like a cheater. And, I admit, yeah, I've been a cheater. And not out of intentions, but just in my situation, it happened unexpectedly. And I didn't intend it to happen, but it happened because of not being loved and not being cherished. And I'm not saying just because you feel those things doesn't mean you need to run out and cheat. No, what I'm saying is when I cheated on my ex-husband, I did it because I felt unloved and I felt like someone grabbed my attention. And that's dangerous too in a relationship. Just because someone grabs your attention doesn't mean you need to fully cheat on them. And I've learned from my mistakes of the past. But, it's almost like a cheater's thinking is just because you cheated on someone doesn't mean you should necessarily give them chances over chances. And I've learned, especially in my relationship that I'm in now, there's forgiveness. There is redemption. There is getting back on track and getting love where it needs to be in its place for everything. But there are some people that, they constantly make those mistakes. And that's what I'm talking about. Those people that constantly make that mistake and they're not doing anything actively to change it. And if they just keep doing that. And we're imperfect people out here. We are. And I feel like people need chances, but if there's just no way around it and they just keep nitpicking things and causing drama and just when you talk with them, it's just cold. Who wants to be around that? So pretty much my relationship advice, and I know I kind of rambled on about that, is there needs to be a difference between attachment and love, because love says, I'm going to be nourishing to you. I'm going to feed your soul when you're brokenhearted. I'm going to help you through situations, kind of like a mother. I know for your partner, you shouldn't be like your mother, but nourish your partner, nourish your girlfriend, nourish your boyfriend. Make them feel love. And then when you're so attached to them, like jealousy is one of them, if you're so attached to them to a point where you become psychotic, that's when you need to draw the line. So I hope you enjoyed those tips of relationships, just going back on the things that I've learned, and I hope it helps someone. So have a good day and a Valentine's.